Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just posted my top 50 books in my collection, and it was by my standards, resounding success. Over 1,000 views at this moment. I think the highest viewed video I had before that was like 300, so just phenomenal. I appreciate it. Thank you for checking it out. Let's get to the books. Let's go ahead and start with some cool Golden Age. Submariner 33. Submariner 33. I talked about it in that top 50 video. Submariner 33. This is a 1.8 blue label. It is missing this big chunk over here, but it is universal, which this is not. This is restored. You can see a little bit of color touch there and up there on the top. Obviously, big chunk missing up here. This 1.8 presents better than this, probably higher grade than a 1.8, maybe like a 2.5 or so, but this presents better. It's just this big chunk out of the corner is missing, so maybe I'll sell one of these, both of these, but look at that. How cool is this? I might just hold on to it. Super awesome. Excited to have that. Let's keep going. Where to go from the Golden Age? The Modern Age. I talk about DCBS. You can pre-order books. It's a good service. Check it out. DCBS. It's like in stock trades. Check that out too if you don't know about it. Conan the Barbarian, number 14 from Titan Comics. I haven't read any of these. I know. I hear awesome things. I'm excited about all of this. Also, Titan is coming out with the omnibus editions, the big fat trades collected editions that they do. Marvel came out with all of Conan the Barbarian proper from Marvel in omnibus format, hardcover, good stuff. They also came out with a volume 1 of King Conan, and Titan Comics is now coming out with volume 2 of that King Conan. Also the Marvel omnibuses, they did the Savage Sword, the magazine formats. It only collected the Conan stories, but super cool. I don't think they did not get to all of that in its entirety, but I'm excited about Titan Comics releasing the King Conan content, so I'll be picking that up. But for right now, Titan Comics is releasing this proper. They are also doing the magazine format, Savage Sword of Conan, carrying that on. That's been good. I've been enjoying that. Haven't gotten to this yet, but I will. They're starting a new saga, maybe is the right word. It's like the Blackstone series. I'm not quite sure, but as I keep talking about, and I'm going to start paring down on my new comic book purchases. Conan will, unfortunately, probably be going by the wayside, but all of them are, so it's not from lack of enjoyment, which I haven't been reading it, so let's keep going. Jason Aaron has picked up my guy, Namor. This is Namor number 2. I believe this is an 8-issue series. Haven't checked out issue number 1 yet. I do have it. It's an awesome cover. I like Jason Aaron, especially his run on Conan. But, yeah, I got this with my DCBS purchase. They mail everything once a month, at least depending on how I set it up, once a month. And I looked at the cover and I was like, this doesn't seem like I would pick it. I went and looked at the other options, and yeah, I probably got this because none of them were that great, and this is fine. I've been enjoying this series, but again, I have to scale back on my new comic purchases. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, Jerry Duggan. This is issue 3. I've read the first 2, haven't gotten to this one yet. It's cool, but I'll probably just pick it up when it comes out in trade or like a nice, cool deluxe edition, but it's neat. EC Comics Cruel Universe. This is the foil edition. With DCBS, you can get discounted copies. This I picked up for $5.19, whereas list price is $8. The Conan I picked up for $2.59, whereas normally it's $4. Same thing with Falling in Love. It was actually a little bit cheaper at $2.39, but this is a cool foil variant. Haven't read it. What else do I have from them? Oh yeah, this was a cool cover. Dick Tracy number 4. Look at that. That's cool. It's got flat top in the reflection. I haven't read any of those. I dropped the ball. I skipped out on one, so I have 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm missing one. How's that going to work story-wise? It doesn't. But like I said, scaling back. And this, I don't know anything about, but it's up my alley. This is 1 of 4. Is this one? I swear I had 2 somewhere. Have I shown this? Maybe I haven't. Anyway, this is The Hunter from the Future. The little blurb on it says, I wrote it down. Where'd I write it down? It's a classic comic inspired from the cult film from 1974. Don't know anything about it. It's presented in English for the first time by Antarctic Press. It is black and white art. Let's check some of that out. It looks pretty cool. Look at that. There's a kids club too. So, send it off. Cool, cool, cool. Like I said, black and white art. Conan type stuff, right? Looks like Barry Windsor Smith Conan there. Like a Joe Kubert tour. I don't know. I don't know which came first, but super cool. So that's a 4-issue series. I'm going to collect all of that. What else do I have? Oh, yeah. Okay. This was cool. I got these from eBay. The seller is Old Guy CM. All one word, Old Guy CM. And there was one thing that I was interested in. I just stumbled across it and I said, that's cool. I want that. So I got it and found it and I got it. And then, if you see it and you're going to have to pay shipping for it, you start to look at what can you add to that shipping to make it more worth your while, more bang for your buck. And Old Guy CM made it happen. This is what I was looking for. Let's not delay anymore. It's just a little digest. To be honest, I didn't know it was this digest format. So that's it. Next to a comic book. So as you can see, War is Hell. Joe Kubert. This is all reprints. And look at that. The Eyes of War. I just thought this was fantastic. Isn't that cool? And it has, did I write it down? Did I get rid of my cheat sheet? So I have my cheat sheet over here, but we'll just kind of go through here a little bit at a time. We're chilling. Look at that. Fantastic. So this is, like I said, reprints. As you can see, Haunted Tank. Old Bob Kanigher. If you're into war comics, Bob Kanigher wrote it. So you get fantastic artwork in here. Alex Toth's in here. Obviously, Joe Kubert. Russ Heath is in there. But it's this smaller, digest-sized book. Look at that. Yeah, White Devil, Yellow Devil. I think this is the Alex Toth story. Super cool. Happy to add that. And with this, look at that. It's got to be Kubert. I got 2 other of these. So, how did I break this down? I think this was $23.48 total for everything I'm about to show you. All right, this was cool. Let's kind of jump to here. I was interested in a few things, again, to offset maybe the purchase price and the shipping price. I think, who'd I see? I can't remember now. Somebody showed this off. This is Justice League of America, 242, 1985. That's just a fantastic cover. Look at that. So they had this listed in a lot of other Justice League books. And I said, hey, would you be interested in breaking that lot up so I could purchase this book? And they said, well, I'm not really interested in breaking that lot up so you can purchase this book. And I didn't think anything of it. And then after I made the deal for, here, I'll just throw them up here now. For these 3 little digest, these weren't a lot. This was the original purchase. But after and what I'm about to show you, they just said, you know what? I just went ahead and threw that in there. So that's why I'm shouting out Old Guy CM, all one word, on eBay. Super cool. The packaging was not the best. It was the best for maybe what it was. I had a stack of comics. They weren't bagged. They weren't boarded. They probably weren't like super high grade to begin with. So, hey, but obviously it's less than ideal. Anyway, so I got the lot because of this book. This is an awesome cover. They threw that in for free. Thank you. So these will probably go. I mean, these are really cool though. So I was looking at this one, Green Lantern. 6 award-winning comic classics by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. That's what you get. 81, 82, 84, then Flash 217, 218, and 219. So it's just like classic stories from two masters, storytellers. Look at that. And I haven't really seen anybody showcase these. I don't know if I'm showcasing them, but I'm showing them. Like I said, when I picked them up, I didn't realize, Dick Giordano, fantastic stuff, that they were these digests, even though it says DC Special Blue Ribbon Digest. But, I'm stupid. So, and then you get, I know nothing about the Legion of Superheroes. So then there's this. It's, in my opinion, fortunately, the worst grade out of all of them. But there's those. Legion's very first published appearance. So, but pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Anyway, let's go. So I got those. I got that. That's cool. And then I picked up these Who's Who, which I've shown before. Like I said, I got the combined shipping. I got all of this for $23.50. And these have the Dave Stevens. Here he comes. These are neat. These are cool. Just nice art. Nice little bios. I flipped through them a bit. Obviously, you can find all of this stuff online, like all of the blurbs about them. But it gives the first appearance. There's the Boy Commandos. Kind of gives you a little rundown. Art by Jack Kirby. There. But I heard somebody who, what was it? You Love Comics, I think, said that these Dave Stevens, which I've picked up before, he said that he can sell these, resell them for like $15 a pop or whatnot. This is wanted because Captain. We're looking at Captain. Lots of Captain. Catwoman. Which I showed this before, but Dave Stevens says hot, hot, hot. So, which for a reason. I mean, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. There you go. But I figured this could offset the price of all of this. And since some of them are doubles, this is another Dave Stevens one here. Who's on there? Dolphin. Oh, there you go. Easy Company. Joe Kubert. One more. Oh. There you go. Cool. But I got all these for like $25. These cool, they all have wraparound covers. Mostly by George Perez, maybe. But cool stuff. Dave Stevens had another one. He also did Phantom Lady. Is that one in here? G, F. They're alphabetical and ran from 85 to, I don't know when it ended, but cool stuff nonetheless. Anyway, So that was cool. I picked those up. Clear them out. My most recent pickup here. Show that. Maybe a couple of them. Same series. A couple war books. Our Fighting Forces 4562. This is from 1959. And this is from 1961. Cool little date stamp. It's not stamped grease pencil, maybe. I found one of these in my local comic book shop. I ended up selling it for a profit. Go me. There's a tear all the way across here. Across here. And then from here down to there. This is the second appearance of Gunner and Sarge. This is pretty neat. This is where Sarge is like... Gunner feels like he has kind of a country boy. He has a sixth sense to traps, and he just gets uneasy feelings. And then the Sarge is such a good sergeant that he knows when to deploy the Gunner, and then the Gunner takes out whatever situation he deploys him into. Sergeant deploys him. Gunner says, I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like my life is at risk here. Takes care of the situation, and then they're both brilliant. But look at that cover. Isn't that fantastic? Anyway, the LCS that I got this, there was like a big, nasty, like black mark. I don't know what was on there. Jerry, the jitterbug, probably could have gotten it off, but... I don't have those skills, so I got this, and I was the only bidder on it. I picked it up for $15.85, exact. Anyway, Key Comic Collector has it at $45 for a low grade, and I mean I think it presents pretty well. Like I said, I bought the other one for maybe around $15, sold it for a profit, and picked this one up, which I think it looks nice. Happy about that. Second appearance of those. I do have the first appearance of Gunner and Sarge. I don't know. I've shown it in a video, but anywho. This is 62, Our Fighting Forces 62. This says Pooch parachuting in. The Flying Pooch. What did I do? I paid $9.75 for this. Isn't that great? Look at all those lights and colors down there. All the contrast on the back of the Japanese soldiers' uniform, but this guy right there, that's what kind of sold me on it. We do have a stamp there. I don't think he's doing too well there, but a super cool cover. I like parachute covers. I don't have too many of them, but at some point I'll remedy that, and this will be a good addition to that collection. So I was very happy to get both of those. Our Fighting Forces, very cool war comics. Speaking of war comics, Russ Heath is the man. That's a Russ Heath cover. And I picked up some more Russ Heath. I went to another one of my LCSs, and I got these Russ Heath books. Didn't do the covers, but I think that's a pretty cool Punisher cover. There's 89. There's 90. Isn't that cool? And then 91. And Sergeant Rock. I don't know what volume that is, but 19. There's Batman in there. These are all Russ Heath interiors. There's a Joe Kubert cover on that one. I don't know who did these. I think they're pretty cool, though. Whoever artist from the 90s, Eman, E-H-M-A-N, I think, on that one. Look how cool that is. Look at those eyes. The Punisher symbol. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. I feel like I just lucked out because I just went in there wanting some Russ Heath artwork, and I got some pretty sweet covers and Punishers and one of my favorite characters. So that's a little 90s, but like awesome 90s. Miami Heat. So picked those up. My LCS, one of these LCSs, what do I want to say? There's no prices on them. The owner wasn't in the shop. Sometimes that bodes well for me, but he contacted the owner, and then I think that he wanted 4 a piece for these when They mostly were listed for $3, something like that. I can't remember at this point, but I was like a little bit annoyed by that. But they're in very good condition, so, well, better than very good. They're in nice condition. They're near mint minus or whatever. They're nice books, so. Could I have found them in a 50-cent bin at some point? Yes, but I was happy to get them. Super cool to find the Russ Heath interiors, and obviously later in his career than what you're normally seeking out, so super cool. Cool. Russ Heath is the man. If you don't know, check him out. Let's do a little romance. This is a great book, I think. This is a J. Scott Pike cover. Young Love. 62. It's a crying girl cover. Those are kind of your romance trope. This is from 1967. I paid $34 for this, but it's a nice grade. I love the go-go checks on there. I was never a real big fan of the go-go checks. I would hear people talk about, I got this Justice League book and it has the go-go checks, and I'm like, yeah, I don't love it. But for some reason, I think especially on romance books, I think they shine. Look at that. Isn't that great? A little purple headband. There's a few spine ticks, but otherwise, super nice copy. Great rendering. Stay away from my son. I told you before, you're not good enough for him. She's sad about that. These are great. I feel like romance books are a little bit on the rise, which I'm kind of annoyed about, but maybe I'm just like swimming in the same sea as everybody else, and I'm just part of that. I feel like I want to get ahead of it, but I wasn't quick enough. I have some cool books, but yeah. Anyway, I'll show some other art as we go along. Let's stick with the romance train. Let's throw this up there. I think this is such a fantastic cover. Love how big she is in the foreground here, with kind of the drama going on in the background. Isn't that great? Look at that. Big old tears. Look how big those tears are. Very upset. It's one thing I love about romance books. There's a different kind of drama. Some of the times, not all the time, but some of the fun ones, there's just a lot of drama on the covers. Speaking of, right? This was I'm not going to shout out this seller, not for any reason really, but they had auctions going on, and there's so many, I think mostly girls' romance books. I put in a bunch of bids. These were the only two that I won. I wanted more, but I was happy to get these. This was about $12, and this was $36. Usually, right? Any sort of good girl bathing suit covers are a pretty good investment, and that holds true for romance books. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor, but usually bathing suit covers are a good bet. And this is a cool one. You get two bathing suits. I love that umbrella. The umbrella on the beach, the guy staring at that biddy over there. I thought there was nothing between you. No, it looks like maybe we're mistaken. Speaking of, that's 77 and 79 girls' romance here. They're both John Romita covers. We have another great crying girl in the foreground with presumably the it should have been me. It could have been me. Well, how did it go from it could have been you to now like that's where we're at? That's confusing. What's the story there? But fantastic art in these romance books. If you like John Romita Spider-Man, this is all John Romita art. Not just him, but it's, can you call them anthology series? There's usually like a few stories in these books, and I mean the art is fantastic. I think it's not superhero art, but it's on par with what's going on. Look at the contrast there, the drama that's going on. That's fantastic. Look at this. Look at the contrast we have. All the darks on the back of her. It's just fantastic stuff here. You're not going to find that anymore. I'm not a big fan of the 70s comics. For some reason, the 50s and 60s aesthetic appeals to me more than the 70s. You got guys in ascots. You got the pantsuits can be okay. I can't really think off the top of my head. I'd have to see them and call them out. But just the aesthetic is so... There's a nostalgia to this. There's a Leave It to Beaver quality that's very appealing to me for these 60s and 50s and 60s romance books that the 70s don't have. There's still some drama, and I'm not going to disparage the art. It's just the aesthetic. Even, what did I say this Young Love was? I mean, that's fantastic there, but it's 67, so we're getting closer to the 70s. It's still enough there, and this is 61. So, you know what? While we're here, there were a few books that I wanted from this eBay auction, but, you know, like I said, J. Scott Pike did a lot of these interiors. John Romita did a lot of the interiors. Bernard Sachs did a lot of good artwork on these books. Just look at that. The coloring, the contrast, it's, I think, fantastic. Obviously, the subject matter is a bit different, but cut your chops on this. There's the cover. Again, look at the namer on this. Mariana. That's who it was. It wasn't this universal U. It's Mariana. Anywho, I mean, look at that. It's great stuff. Have I spent too much time on this? Nah, I don't care. What else do we have? We got some cool stuff here, guys. I'm telling you. Let's see. Did that. Oh, here, this is cool stuff. That's too much girly stuff, right? Let's get into the manly stuff. Our Army of War number 120. Look at this. This is a Jerry Grandinetti cover. I am drawn to pay about $25 for this. I'm drawn to, what would you call it? Design, and not interior design. What would you call it? I'm blanking, but where it's just clean. It has a clean aesthetic viewing to it. I've talked about it before. I appreciate Alex Schomburg, not taken away from Alex Schomburg. He can do many a different thing. I like a cleaner cover. This is, you know, this is there-ish, but just with that red stripe coming down there and all the action happening here. But, like, nothing crazy is going on. That, you know, there's a lot of dead space, if you will, which really kind of focuses the action and attention with what's going on right here. And this stuff is, it's drama. There's not a guy versus a tank and it's going to end well for the guy, right? I don't know too much about warfare, like, proper, but but it's such a striking cover. I didn't love it the first time I saw it, but when I really started to look at it, I go, oh, wait, you know what? That's a very intriguing cover. I like the design of it, the composition of it. It has a very pleasing quality to it. Anyway, this is our Army at War 120. This is from, did I say? 1962. So, some Joe Kubert there. Like I said, a Jerry Grandinetti art cover. Look at that. See, I mean, and you switch from romance to this, and they're coming out around the same time, and it's just fantastic stuff. You know, true masters going, crafting these stories. Wow. Blam. Ram, pow, pow, pow. It's fantastic action here. Sergeant Rock's Combat Corner. Hi, buddies. This is Sergeant Rock. Got Batman and stuff. Some airplane, aerial action. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. And there's the drama. You know, it's not romance, but that's the drama. Right there. Cool. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but, you know. Pretty amazing. Saucy lady. That's awesome. This is an order fire. Got a lot going on in that panel. Oh no. Not great. Look at that. The end. Oh, Sea Devils. Right on. Russ Heath. Draw any person. Does she look like that? That's a picture. Anyway. Cool. I was happy to get that. I maybe have shown this before. I picked this up from an LCS. I think I took a bunch of stuff in. I feel like I showed the other books that I picked up with this, but I saw this and I said, I don't know if I showed that or not. So I showed it again, and if I've showed it before, I don't care. Look how awesome that was. Took my kids to a neighboring town, and there was a festival going on. I had no idea. We just had a baby. My wife's off work. You know, maternity leave. I'm kind of trying to soak up those free minutes and everything like that, those free days. So I took my older kids, I just said to a neighboring town. There was a festival, and I didn't know there was a festival going on. I went because I selfishly wanted to go to the comic book shop that was there, and I said, you know what, there's also a children's museum. We can do both. But then when we showed up, there's all this traffic. I had to find a place to park. It was this big thing, and we wandered around the festival probably more than I did the comic book shop, and then we spent, you know, all that time at the children's museum after we grabbed lunch. So it was fun. They had a good time. They didn't know that I was being a selfish dad and trying to go to the comic book shop, so that's a win, right? Anyway, it's a chain. It's graham crackers. I'm from Illinois. I think it's relatively local, but you know, if you let them know you're interested in a book, they'll try and get it for you. They can ship it in if it's one of their other stores. They had and I mentioned this another video, speaking of Dave Stevens and everything. This is a J. Scott Pike. So I guess speaking of J. Scott Pike, they had the showcase book that has the first appearance of the dolphin, and prices were pretty comparable to online. You know, if it were a graded book, different story, but it was a wall book, and I said, hey, you have this price. Would you go for this price? And I've had this happen to me at that store before. It's no big deal. I think they say, I feel like the owners or the managers or whoever is kind of running the show, or those are kind of the books that they believe in, if you will. I think they tell you that maybe they're like PC books, and maybe they are, or maybe they just think, you know what, we don't have to budge on these books. There's no wiggle room. They can't negotiate price on them anyway. So that was one of the books that I saw. It was a nice mid-grade, decent price. But like I said, if you can get a book online for pretty much the same, I have no obligation to an LCS to buy from them. So unless you can save me shipping plus, I'll just find something else. Anyway, this is what I picked up from them. They had this box marked like adult only, 18 and up only. I picked this up from there. I thought paid $3 for this. I thought it was more than that. It's not. It might be. It'll go in my box of things to sell. I do have the Dave Stevens Alien Worlds. Is it 4? I'm not sure. Anyway, I picked that up from them. They didn't work with me on price as much as they have been, and I think that they still kind of have COVID prices on things. This is another Russ Heath interior. Excuse me. I don't know who did the cover on that. Oh, well, yes I do. It's a Russ Heath cover. But this is 91. The Nam, 65. I almost hesitate to show this. The Punisher books, I think, were maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say representative of, oh yeah, I actually wanted to show this shot. Not the Beetlejuice thing, that's kind of going on now. That's like a classic, I think, Golden Age war shot of just getting knocked on your head, rocked back, shot coming in. It reminds me of a Two-Fisted Tales 30, right? Anyway, I think is it Two-Fisted Tales or Combat? Anyway, the EC book, the EC War book, but you know what? I shouldn't disparage this. There's some good stuff going on here. The coloring, I think, is, you know, obviously different than Golden Age, but pick this up for the Russ Heath interiors because Russ Heath is the man. I got a little bit of a discount on this. This is kind of a hard book to find in grade for a decent price. They had this, I think maybe I paid $4 for this. I think they came down. There's a little bit of corner edge wearing there. There's a crease up here. This is probably my favorite panel, and of course that's the one that the crease is going through. It's this nice grayscale. There's a slew of these. If I had looked them up, I could tell you, but I didn't. This is Men of War number 111, but I don't even know if they're all Men of Wars. They could be. Anyway, there's probably the Men of War, the Star Spangled Combats, the GI Combats. There's a slew of covers. I shouldn't say a slew. There's a few, which rhymes with slew. So, but there's a few covers that have. They're even different than this, but I'm going to count this as falling in line with those. There'll have like a block of color, and then this middle panel, and maybe they'll be popping away from the block of color, and it kind of gives it a 3D effect, a panel sort of thing going on. Kind of the Marvel did with their big bordered panel covers, but anyway, I've always liked this book. For some reason, it goes for a decent amount in decent grades, so I was happy to find this and pick it up. It presents really well, so anyway, I feel like I spent too much time on that. This is a Sergeant of Rock? School of Rock, Sergeant Rock, 296, Our Army at War 296, and I maybe paid a little bit more for that. I love underwater covers. For some reason, underwater covers seem to have a green hue to them, which I love. So I was very happy to pick this cool war book up. Joe Kubert. Nice. Isn't that great? Air bubbles coming up. This I was a little annoyed about. I had to pay full price for this. Granted, it was $4, and maybe you wouldn't pay $4 for this awesome romance book. It's a remainder copy. I said, hey, would you give $2 for this? Because it's a remainder copy, and look at all this. And they said something along the lines of, it's a $20 book if it weren't a remainder copy, but it is a remainder copy, so give us $4 for it. And I was like, whatever. Other than the fact that it's a remainder copy, it looks really good. I mean, her yellow suit pops. You really don't see too many guys brawling, gonna go fisticuffs over a girl in the romance era. Hold on, I didn't put the year on this on here. Let's check it out. Gotta be 60 something, maybe even 50, late 50s. I mean, it's low grade. Look at that. Running away. She's distraught, guys. Like, the drama, man. Oh, love it. 1959, yeah, 1959. It's a little, but the colors are nice. But like I said, 1959, you really don't see too much of that. And, can I see who did the art on this? I might have written it down. 59, yeah, Bernard Sachs. Bernard Sachs did the cover on that. He did some great work. I never heard of the guy before I started looking into romance books, and he did a slew of them, and they're great. Show some of that. And again, a little bit of color and contrast there. Some of sometimes they just look so crazy though. I don't know if it's a style choice. I don't know if we're like, for lack of a better term, copycats, if that's just part of the genre. But look at that. It's great. And to me, it's cleaner than superhero books. A lot of times the action goes on, and I can't tell what the heck's happening. You know, yeah, cool. How many times have you seen the guy lying on his back with his feet kicked up, like flipping the guy towards the camera, like doing some sort of like judo move, just where he's like, you know, using his feet to propel him like somersault towards you. And a lot of the time, I can't follow the action on a superhero book. But I mean, it's cool. It's fine. But I don't think this stuff gets its due. And just maybe you're not interested in the story. Maybe you're interested in bad guy, want, destroy, good guy, heroic, good. And I love it too. But, you know, there's room for all of it, I feel like. Anywho, I picked up a couple more stuffs, a couple more books from that LCS. This is Weird War Tales number 30. This is a nice grade. This is a Luis Dominguez cover, and look at this. Death beckoning this soldier. Isn't that fantastic? Great black cover. Great grade for $8. Maybe I had a deal on this. Like I said, I didn't get too many deals on this stuff. Maybe this isn't one that I even asked about, but I don't have too many of these Weird War Tales, but they have some nice stuff. I haven't read any of them, but the covers are fantastic. A little EC mixed with war vibe. I think that's great. Luis Dominguez. You know what? Let's open it up. Maybe we can figure out what's going on the interiors. I don't know who did the art on these, who did the stories. Let's see if we can figure that out. I don't think I wrote it down. Weird War. No, just 1974. That's all I wrote down. Luis Dominguez. We're here. Fast forward if you want to. That's fine. The Elements of Death. David McElhaney. Script. Yeah, that's bronze. That looks like the 70s to me. '70s just had such a stylistically sloppy way. Loose pencils, maybe? Is that what you would call it? You know what I mean? Like, look at, probably like influenced maybe the like Graham Ingalls or just the loose pencils. And you know, style is different and genres are different, but I think Will Eisner was a very kind of like loose, melty sort of figures. And I think that, you know, I'm not a comic expert, but the 70s stuff that I've looked at is very kind of melty, if you will. It's like almost everything is like wax. Maybe I'm just thinking of Bernie Wrightson, you know. That's not that clean. a lot going on. It's detailed. No one would call that realistic. So, I mean, it's awesome stuff. But, you know, like I said, just definitely 70s to me, flair. That's cool. Anyway, maybe I spent too much time on that. I don't know. What's the back look like? Oh, pretty good. Oh, look at that strong boy. You're a strong boy. Anyway, cool. And because it's a black cover, I paid $8 for that. I don't think they came down on that. This was cool. This is a nice book. GI Combat. Saved a little bit of moolah off that 15. Maybe even went to $12 to match the cents. GI, that's a Russ Heath. There we go. Lone guy taking on the tank, just like I talked about. From here, it's like believable though, right? Before I said, what are the odds? He's enclosed. It's claustrophobic. He's got nowhere to go. A trope of these war books. And this isn't even the best example of it. It's a example of it, but it's not indicative of it. These point of view, I don't know why, but it always seems to be this point of view, like bazooka, anti-tank, rocket launcher versus a tank. I don't have any handy with me, but I guess just trust me. There's this very much trope of lone soldier, maybe with a buddy, just squaring off against a tank and scoring a direct hit. But even that, you know, drawing all that in perspective, making it look realistic, the light, and I've mentioned it before, but there has to go, I don't know if it's the way Russ Heath penciled / drew in the darks. I don't know that he inked himself. I know that he didn't color his work. That was the company. But I don't know if it's how he set stuff up. But the lighting on all, you can just look at a cover and have a pretty good shot that it's a Russ Heath cover. And this is, I think, a pretty good example of that, with the contrast from all the light coming from the explosion here, lighting up the front, and just all the dark on the back. But then having this light contrast right there. A beautiful cover. The blacks, the purples, the explosions. I think he said something along the lines of he just tried to do a Joe Kubert explosion. But anyway, a little bit different feels here. So this is a GI Combat I picked up for like $12. Russ Heath cover. Because Russ Heath is the man. 67. So we're getting close to the 70s on this. Look at that. I love a silhouette. Love a silhouette. Try and draw that and make it like look like that. You can't. I try and draw like those guys and they don't look like that. You know, it's insane. Silhouettes are superb. Reader sound off. What do we got? Tank in a Castle. Looks like Kubert. Probably is Heath, but yeah, look at that. Look at all that black. Fantastic. I'm gonna get my hands on some of the British war books. Those little man, I'm gonna blank on it. I'm filming the video, so I can't remember. There's a dang hot air balloon, bruh. That's not the way you want to go, man. Being a sausage pilot is bad enough, but how much lower can I get than being a grounded sausage? I mean, that's right. You know, I ask myself that question every day. How much lower can I get than being a grounded sausage? You know, put things into perspective. Yeah, man, go at them. You're in a hot air balloon, they're in a plane. Psh, forget them. That's cool. Green Hornet. Look at that. Look at that. This is a more chill video. I like, I'm kind of taking Mike from Night Tiger Comics. He's just chill, man. Hey, let's just show some books. Let's look at some books. You know, whatever. I have like one Dinosaur War book. I kind of like it. I wish I could just get them. I don't want to have to necessarily pay the prices for them. They have some cool covers, but they're not as cool as that. Even though they have a dinosaur on them, they just don't appeal to me. The design quality isn't there for them. Got another one from the same LCS I was talking about. I am always on the lookout for Jim Steranko books. Jim Steranko is, I would say, it was like, I don't know the order, honestly, like probably Steranko / Buscema, Russ Heath, just spiraled me on. Like, I'm a cover collector, man. Stories are cool. I am starting to appreciate even more and more sequential art. It's kind of neat and eye-opening to hear that, you know, we as collectors go, that's an awesome cover. I really want the original artwork to that. And the artists themselves are more proud of the interiors than they are the covers. So I just think that's kind of interesting. Anywho, having said that, I'm a cover collector. Jim Steranko is one of my guys, and it's not an expensive book here, but Creatures on the Loose 22 Thongor, first appearance of Thongor, and it's this great Steranko cover. He always had that cleft chin. Some would say not an autobiographical. You know, you're drawing yourself. What is that? What is that? You guys know. I'm blanking. Help me out. But they had, you always love when, you know, when they have more than one copy of the book you're looking at, you know the one they got in after this one, or the one you're looking at, because it's a worse grade for a higher price, and they don't bother changing the price on that. So that's what happened here. There's like a lower grade one for, you know, $12 or something like that. But it's a pretty nice book for the $8 that I paid for it. And, you know, shoot, you'll pay $8 for shipping to find that book online. I just talked about the, I'm not going to know. Don't roast me. Some sort of Jungle Comics. It's the Shanna books. Shanna the She-Devil, right? Jim Steranko covers. And I found one of those in my local comic book shop. The one that this is what I do. I start a story, I don't finish it because I lose my train of thought, because this isn't a dialogue. I just speak to the ether and, you know, nobody answers back. But I appreciate all your comments, and eventually I'll get back to them. But anyway, one of my local LCSs, he had those Jim Steranko, Shanna the She-Devil books, and they wouldn't come down on the prices on those. And, you know, I look on eBay and other places, but if you can't, if there's no point, I can get a better copy online for essentially the same price. I'm not buying it from you. Anyway, I got that. That's cool. I was excited to get that. Add that to the Steranko collection. I got a few more. I wasn't sure how many of these books I was going to go through, but I pretty much have gone through. Oh, I have a fat stack of romance books. I might do that one on another video. I bought a romance lot, honestly, just for one book. No, they're cool. I'm hoping I can sell some of them to recoup the cost of all of them, and I can hold on to a portion of them, if that makes sense. Anyway, what else do we have? Got a couple more books. This one I got in recently. This is cool. This is another Russ Heath. I paid $35 for this Navy Action number 2. I think it's number 2. It's pre-code. Listed as a low grade. Presents really nicely. Chip there. Little tears, little chippies up at the top. I think there's a spine split. But otherwise, from 1954, you gotta, I don't want to say pay up for this book, but it's one of those things where, what do I want to say? I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a 2.0 when I can get a book that looks better. The Submariner 33 is a pretty good example. You can get a quote-unquote lower grade book, but it presents better than a higher grade book. But just the defaults that it has are more damning than the other one. But look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I have my eye on a couple of these Navy actions. So this is one. I think 4 is the other one. Don't look at that, though. It's a terrible book. You don't want it. And you would be stupid if you bought it. And if you paid more than $35 for it, then you are dumb. Speaking of being dumb and paying too much for a comic book, this was showcased. Can I say showcased? I mean, Alan from Comic Collector Geek talked about it because I paid, what did I pay for this? They made me pay this. They wouldn't go down. I paid $425 for this. And like a lower grade went for like $30. I don't know, $50. Stop being so shiny on there. It's a 5.5, which is a nice grade. There's not too many of them on there. I didn't do my homework. I don't know how many of them are on the census. There's not too many of them, but look at this. I was talking about the drama on romance books, and to be completely honest, I feel like this is more rare. Don't get me wrong. This might not be a rare book. And the fact that 2 people are just in love and kissing, that also might not be rare. But I think more common are these drama. It could have been me. It should have been me. I thought there was nothing between you. Less common are these, like, they're just in love, man. And I think this is a great example of Vince Colletta doing his thing. Look how beautiful this art is. You can see the Colletta on the shirt lapel there. Love the earring. Love the rendering. If you know anything about the Lovers series, it's a very popular, and again, I don't know it. I know it if I saw it. What number is it? I'm not sure. But this is close to it. There's a few like that. I almost hesitate to show this because there's a few of books that look like this in that Lovers run. This is from 1954. That look like this. But I imagine even though my top 50 books got over 1,000 views, this isn't going to get that much. And to stick around to the end and to listen to me blather on about them, it's going to be few and far between. But just look at that. Put that on your wall, man. Like, you like Black Suit Spider-Man? That's fine. In my opinion, Black Suit Spider-Man ain't got nothing on that. It's just a beautiful cover. Fantastic cover. I would rather have that than Black Suit Spider-Man. Your mileage may vary. I showed a lot of cool stuff. Is that all of it? Like I said, I have that romance lot that I got. What else can I show? I got this. I talked about, you know what? I'm not going to ruin it. Let's just look at that Lovers cover. Lovers 64 from 1954. J. Scott Pike and that guy, John Tartellani. Sorry. And Vince Colletta. Cover art. Hey, just like you, more books are on the way.